What is going on, guys? TeamMateSpiff22 here. Today I'm going to be starting a tutorial series where I will be showing you how to create a low poly gun in Blender, how to rig it, how to give it a material, and how to get it into Unreal Engine so then you can use it in your games, like what you can see here in my newest project. So, what we're going to start off with is this cube here, just like a standard Blender 2.8 beginning. Make sure you're using Blender 2.8 because I'm not really sure if the stuff that I do in this tutorial will transfer to older versions. So, what you want to do first is bring in your picture. So I have my picture dragged in now, and you want to reset its location, stuff like that. Set the rotation on the x-axis to 90 and also on the z. So this will align it in the correct space you want. Now this picture is pretty big, so what you want to do is scale it down a little bit so then in your Unreal Engine 4 project it doesn't come out like as big as your character. So now you can also scale down this cube to so you get the correct width and stuff like that you want. This is pretty good. So now to get this cube over to the handle, I'm going to come up to here and select move. So now you can move objects like this when you click on them. So just take this, and I'm going to use the hand tool to adjust my camera viewport. And now here I will put this in to the correct spot. What you want to do is just get the bottom edges to line up with the bottom here, just like this. That's good enough. And now you're just going to add some loop cuts, coming over to here and selecting loop cut. Then I'll make one here, then one down here. So this will make it so we can select these lines here and drag them out and make it kind of low polygon like curve looking thing. So now what you want to do is use the loop cuts on this side as well, drag out, make sure you're getting the right thing there. And now I'm going to select this top face and extrude it up to about here. Now I'm going to drag it so then it's about lined up with the handle, see there. And then I'm also going to drag this back a little bit so then this part is also lined up. Next, what we want to do is make a loop cut around where the trigger guard starts, so then when we do the trigger guard it's not going to affect our handle here. So next, make a few more loop cuts and just try and get this to the correct shape of the handle and of the gun as well. Okay, so as you can see here, my handle is coming along. I'm getting it to around the same shape as the gun, and you're just going to continue doing this for the rest of the gun. And for this low poly gun, we're just going to end up merging all the pieces together. So if you want to create the barrel and all of that separately, you can definitely do that, but I will just be merging them later. So okay, so here you can see that on this Beretta pistol that I have, you can actually see the barrel here all the way down. It's not just a little spot. So I'm actually going to model around this part, and then I will add the barrel in after. So here how I'm going to do this part is I'm going to select these faces here and extrude them out. Then I will scale on the x-axis and that will kind of taper the edge and bring it in. Then I'm going to select these faces, not faces, edges, sorry, then bring those in as well. So this is what the gun looks like so far. It doesn't look very realistic, but it's not going to. It's a low poly gun. That's why I'd recommend you learn how to make low poly guns first before you start making like high detailed models and things like that. And then click Shift A and then go into mesh and then select cylinder, scale this down, and then change the rotation of the X to 90 degrees, bring it up to about the right spot, and scale it down until it looks right. So I'd say right there looks good. Now I will just bring out this face all the way to here. But as you can see, it's looking kind of weird right there. So what I'm going to do, I will go to here, then I'll create a new cylinder. So I will copy this, then drag it out to the right spot. Then I will go into edit mode, drag this to the right spot. Then I will just scale it down until it's no longer clipping, then drag it back up to here. So now it looks like one continuous barrel, however it's no longer clipping. Now what we're going to do before we add the trigger guard is select your main gun model. Now get to a good view and click tab, and then on the sides what you're going to do is take your loop cuts and see, I'm going to act like I'm cutting it in half kind of, except I'm going to drag it over until it's kind of away from the edge. Now I'm going to do this on the handle side like this, and I will do it right here as well. So now I'll also do it on the top like this. So what you want to do is select the loop cut again, and I'll cut it in half, then cut that half again to get an even cut on both sides. And then you will select your outside edges and then just move them in. So I'm going to use Control and just select all of these edges. And now I'm going to click Shift, and then I'll do Control up to there. So now I have these edges on here selected. Then I will shift click this edge. I don't really want to mess with this too much. Then go all the way to here. So now what I do is drag this over till about there. So now you have that like edge that looks kind of low poly, but it looks slightly rounded. So now it gives it a little bit more depth and isn't just flat. So now what you want to do is go back into this and do that on this side too. Now what you want to do is you can put grips on it, but I'll do that later. What I'm going to do now is add the trigger guard. There you go. So now it looks a bit better, and then we'll do a similar thing with the trigger. So as you can see, the gun is coming along pretty well so far, but now we need to add sights and these little areas. So now you can kind of look down and see if that looks right, and I think it looks pretty good. I think that if you look at this, then you look at the gun, you'll know that it's the same thing. Now, I will add some handles on there, but you don't have to, so I'll just speed this part up. Okay, so now I have a basic handle here, just by extruding out a little bit and scaling the face down. So now that our gun's pretty much complete, we have a bunch of cubes over here, and we can get rid of our pistol image right there. So, okay, this is what we're going to have to do. So, you can join two objects at a time by selecting both of them, then clicking join. Join. You're just going to join basically every like cube or whatever object you have. So now you should have just one object you can move by itself. So there is your low poly gun. In the next video, which will probably come out very soon, I'll show you how to add an armature to it, and then I'll do the material and then eventually importing it with the skeleton and everything. So thank you guys for watching. Team Ace 22 out.